What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's Gamer Nation, where we're putting on our geek faces and talking about esports. He has one shot in that gun. It was the one that actually went off in the beginning. But today we actually got a bunch of people, as you can tell here. We've got Suns fans, we've got Purge, we've got Reeves, who all know this field like no other. Would you like to introduce what channel you're from, or why you were professionals in this?
Let's start on this side. We'll go Suns fan.
My name is Suns fan from Dota Cinema. I'm with the guy over here, I guess you could say.
The guy?
Who's the guy?
Reeves?
The guy, his name's
Reeves
Reeves.
is fine.
Sorry, I forgot your name for a second there. And
Sure.
Purge from?
Purge Gamer's YouTube channel. I do Dota 2 casting, I play pubs, and I just have a lot of instructional content for new players.
So I've heard a lot of Dota in the last 10 seconds. So Inky, you must just be in heaven right now.
I enjoy Dota, yes. Every now and then I play.
Every now and then.
Yeah, just once or twice
Yeah,
every
not
year or
often, no.
something, but yeah, I'm not too into it.
Super good.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at esports as a whole in the video game community, and really just kind of like informing the audience that it exists there, and does it actually count as a sport? Does it really fit up in like a real competition? How do you feel about this? Let's start with the Soinky, actually.
Yes, I think it is sort of a legitimate, I mean, I don't know that you'd call it a sport in the sort of standard sense that you consider a sport, but I think that esports sort of take the same dedication. I think they take the same amount of skill. It's just sort of, you know, coordination with a keyboard and a mouse or a controller or whatever, as opposed to physical hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, if golf can be a sport, really anything can
Golf's
become
not a sport.
Curling a sport, would you say?
No.
Competitive Counter-Strike, though.
If it was baseball, you could drive to the ball. Would they still call it a sport?
Yeah, not good, but you cast.
Yeah.
So like you're seeing a lot of competitive gameplay. What is the big difference you see between competition gameplay and just casual, oh hey, I'm a big fan of this game, I play it all the time?
The skill cap is much higher for professional play. There's so much refinement to get to the professional level that it really does take a lot. And a typical Dota player who plays on the professional level has been playing for 4 to 6 years
Hey.
of this game. It takes that long to get all the refinement down and just have so much experience, they become really good at it. It really does take like an insane amount of skill.
Now, would that time taken to become pro change and differ between games? For example, if you're a competitive Counter-Strike player, is that still going to be 4 to 6 years before you are considered pro?
Yeah, I don't play Counter-Strike, but it definitely does depend on the game. I mean, there's some cases in StarCraft 2, for example, which is another really popular esport game, where people will take maybe 6 months to a year to be on the pro level, but those are really talented cases. Dota's pretty much an outlier, I would say.
So on this timeline, Soinky, where are you right now?
Well, I've been playing the game for 5 years. I've never actually tried to go pro. So maybe that can be a video series.
I think
So going pro with Soninki. They had the CPL. You remember CPL,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure. And that was Dota 1 was actually in the later years, but it was mainly a Counter-Strike tournament.
What's CPL
And
for the
It's
people
the
at home?
Cyber Athlete Professional League.
Well, that's fancy.
Yeah, there you go. And it was $1
CPL.
million.
I know what that was.
It was $1 million Counter-Strike tournament, and I don't remember them even having casters back then. Like, there was no one really casting the games. You could watch and you could stream the matches, but no one really giving it sort of that professional flair. Nowadays, you see people like Purge, and there's all these, I mean, I know the Dota guys, I don't know other casters, because that's mainly what I watch, but they really do give it that sort of professional flair where you're watching it and you can really get into it, even if you don't necessarily understand all of what's going on. When you're listening to those people, it really does feel like a sport.
We talked a lot about the American scene and competitive gaming. We haven't talked at all about like countries that are doing it right or have already been doing this for a long time, have
That's true.
stadiums set up, have tons of fans, have people fawning over them as if they were like what we look at like sports stars as. That's like Korea. Is there? And,
Oh,
Korea is the only thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, like
but there's gotta be.
don't they have like StarCraft? Like there's a StarCraft TV channel where they're just
and
constantly watching people
stadiums
play.
for people to go watch.
Just to
people
clarify,
play.
this is South Korea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
speaking,
not crazy.
Kim Jong-un, not big into the competitive scene, the competitive gaming.
Well, actually, no, they're really good at one game, being crazy.
Yeah.
They're really good at that.
I think they play random nuke threats.
Well, with South Korea being as big as they are in, let's say, StarCraft, do you think that North America will ever get to that level of just like legit esports competitions?
How
about Purge? You want to
Yeah,
maybe?
they've got to
Yeah,
get
Purge,
over.
please.
They've got to get over
Save
the general population in the U.S. has to get over the general looking down on gamers, and
Yeah.
I mean it is changing. There's tons of gamers. My demographics are somewhere in the mid-20s. Is my highest demographic. I get messages from people that are 40 that play games, and there's going to be a period of time where games are super commonplace. And there are a lot of games in the U.S. scene as well. There's big tournaments that happen.
League of Legends
MLGs
has been
and stuff.
like having huge tournaments.
Yeah.
They filled up the entire Staples Center with
Vomit everywhere.
They filled up the entire Staples Center with vomit.
So we've been talking about a lot of the same games. Maybe we should go to some of the fans and see
Yeah,
what
see what
games
they have to say.
they would like to see.
And it's funny because we actually have a segment just for that, Tweets from the Fans. All right, again, thanks so much for following @SmoshGames and sending us in your topics and your ideas for Gamer Nation. Let's go ahead and read a few that we have here. We have first from Makader Craig, a Far Cry 3 survival tournament where a custom map is made with hazards and is played in a Hunger Games style. Now,
Land sharks. It needs to have land sharks. Sharks that float across the land and try to kill everyone.
now, like,
I would totally watch that.
that would be not only fun to watch and play. Like here, we're like you have like you can maybe name 5 games. They're like, all right, those are the 5 competitive games. But what about all those other games that fans would love to play? And this, I think, would definitely be at the top of that list. Just taking a game that doesn't exactly have a competitive feel yet and being able to add to it to give it land sharks.
I think there are plenty of games that you could turn into having a competitive format. Far Cry, you could do something like that. I've always said Mass Effect could have a competitive format where one person controls a squad against someone else controlling a squad, and who controls it better in that sort of free-flowing atmosphere.
In a third-person shooter style or RTS style?
Third-person shooter. You would play it literally just like the single player, except for when you hit that menu to open up your skills, it wouldn't pause the game.
Gotcha. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think
that'd
that'd be really
interesting.
fun.
Next up, we had from @OhSnap. Yeah, there's that much
name?
intensity.
That's his name.
Oh snap!
That's how he wanted you to pronounce it.
This one's all for Lasercorn on this one. Mario Karts, or in general, most of the Mario Party games. They're a lot of fun and can get competitive at times.
Mario Party
That's
competitive.
a terrible
with-
idea. Yeah, if you want to see the competitors punching each other in the face.
That'd be
Actually,
great.
that would be an
Yeah.
It would be amazing to
That
watch.
might be a great idea.
You play in a boxing ring.
Yeah.
And
Then
when
you get
someone-
then you get that stupid game where you have to just like cut a wire or something.
Yeah, it's
and
all based on
complete
luck.
and then someone just flips out and like unplugs the machine and
Well,
smashes.
what if in the actual competitive field there was like maybe a thing in Dota or anything where just like it took just an ounce of luck and all of a sudden the tides of
Some
war
luck.
could change? Would
The chaos
that
knight,
hurt?
or whatever.
There already is that.
Ogre
There are
Ninja.
those. There's very few
Yeah.
elements like that. There's some heroes that have more luck-based, but it's usually
Heroes
a very
is
small portion of
High
luck.
ground to low ground, mischance,
Yeah,
that kind
like
of thing.
chances for
Well, even
stars.
Rune and
Rune
Roshan
spawns,
to some
yeah.
degree as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the highly luck-based characters that might be awesome, like Ogre Magi, for example, he doesn't get used a lot because it's so unreliable. But
Yeah.
when it
Well-
works, he's awesome. It's one of the best stuns, nukes, but it's
Raid
so
call.
unreliable.
All right, finally we've got from Window Liquor says Dishonored, where 2 players have to kill 3 targets fastest. One player plays as Corvo, the other as Dowd.
Whatever that means.
I don't know. I mean, I
That's
don't know the characters,
interesting.
but the format sounds interesting. I like that
Yeah.
idea.
I don't know if I would do it based on speed or if I would just make it where one person is Corvo against like a team of like you can spend a certain amount of points to get like a tall boy or those guys that can cancel out
yeah.
magic, and you can like kind of make
Try to,
a
like,
team
throw off the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
player.
yeah.
Well, you know what would be cool is if one person was playing as the target and they kind of tried to blend in Assassin's Creed style, or like you said, could hire people to protect them and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Dishonored could definitely make a fun multiplayer, I feel like, but they would have to work at it, like Assassin's Creed did. It would be something completely new, something we've never really seen before.
But really what I think we've seen from like all the tweets from the fans is saying that there are other games that can get very competitive, and I think there might be a scene for them, maybe more niche or smaller, but it's possible. And maybe in the next 5 years when esports are getting a lot bigger, maybe we'll see some of those other games kind of like rise up and be like, hey, we're here
Well,
too.
every game starts as a niche, even competitively. So I think that there's room for plenty of games in the competitive
Yeah.
scene.
Well, luckily we have streaming services now, which do seem to propel games. Like one of the games I'm
definitely.
into right now is Chivalry.
Chivalry is fun.
Chivalry.
Yeah.
Good.
I want that to go like super competitive, like on a wide scale, like just the potential for battles and stuff. It'd be
Yeah,
so much
great.
fun.
And I've chopped off your own. Yeah, it's
It's ridiculous fun. It's silly fun.
yeah.
Cool. Again, thank you so much for sending your tweets to us. Now it's time for everyone's favorite segment. Lasercorn, you want to take us away on this one?
And now on to a segment where we pit one gamer against another in a battle of wits, a war of words. We like to call it PvP. All right, today's PvP topic. Should Call of Duty have a bigger competitive following? Arguing that it shouldn't, we have Suns fan, and arguing that it should, we have Purge. You each have 30 seconds to make your opening arguments, and we'll start with Suns fan.
Okay, first of all, Purge, you disgust me. All right, that's 5 seconds. That's how confident I am in this argument. Okay. Call of Duty, first of all, is primarily a console game, and an FPS console game cannot be competitive because, well, for one thing, it's garbage, and secondly, PC gamers will always destroy the console. So, I don't even need the whole 30 seconds. Let's go.
In only 18 seconds, a very succinct argument. Call of Duty is garbage. And it's
I've
on
offended many
consoles.
people.
It's like your whole argument.
Yeah. All right. You have 30 seconds to make your opening argument. Go.
All right, Call of Duty is one of the highest selling titles, I think, if not the highest, every single year. Treyarch and the other company, they just pump out those games. It's played by pretty much everybody and their brother, and still their stream numbers are far below anything like League of Legends or Dota or StarCraft, just because, I don't know, it's like the players don't get from the Xbox to the computers to watch the games. They don't want to watch other people play. It's probably because it's not very fun to watch, but you'd think that there's so many people that play the games, you'd think that they would actually watch it on the competitive scene.
And time. It's not very fun to watch. Interesting. You would think there would be more based on sales. Okay,
We're doing it wrong.
We see what you're saying. 15-minute response to
15 minutes.
Or, I'm sorry,
I can do
15-second
5 seconds.
response.
All right, firstly, it's garbage. I'm just going to go back to that because that seems to be a selling point. Secondly, you said that the game they have a refresh like every year or two, which is ridiculous. You can't do that in a competitive scene. Just look at Counter-Strike. When they came out with Source, 1.6 basically stayed as was.
Time.
Damn it. Damn it.
And
easy, is it?
15 seconds
Nope.
to respond to that. Refreshes aren't good for the competitive scene. Go.
I guess I would agree that the refreshes aren't very good because it does dice the game up a lot, but I mean, they sell so much DLC and all the stuff. I just think that there's so many people that play. I just can't believe that they only get 10, 20K views on their streams.
Garbage.
Stop agreeing with your opponent.
Maybe you guys should just
All right. And it's over to you to decide. Does Call of Duty deserve a bigger competitive scene, or is it?
So who won? Suns fan, you can comment below. Suns fan arguing that it should not be bigger, and Purge apparently also arguing that it should not be bigger.
He said that it should be bitter, just like it's.
How come it's not
What an
bigger?
agreeable guy. All right.
But these guys have been great today. You guys, Dota Cinema is your guys' YouTube channel. We have Purge Gamers. Be sure to click the annotations here to subscribe and check out their channels. We got links in the description below. Guys, thank you so much for watching Gamer Nation this week. From all of us to all of you, you're awesome.
Are we supposed to point?
Nice.
Not
Just
really.
point slowly and open your eyes very wide and stare into their soul.